with 125 ampere to 255 ampere current. So now to produce such a high current, it's obvious to use the synchronous rectifier at the rectifying stage of a conventional DC-DC converter. And this is a typical circuit which to achieve the zero voltage switching. And what happened here is that this is a fixed commutational circuit here. The circulating current by this circuit is constant. This circulating current does not change as the power level or the input voltage is changing. So we are having the constant losses basically because of this circuit here. So if you really see here, this is a full bridge inverter, this is a transformer, this is all synchronous rectifier, and this is a current doubler which we are using, right? So this converter operates under zero voltage switching, but basically it has the constant circulating current loss in the converter. And once again, what we can do is that rather than use one converter, this converter also can be split into two converters, because here also we are paralleling number of MOSFETs in the full bridge circuit as well as this in the synchronous rectifier. So rather we parallel 6 MOSFETs, we can parallel only 3 MOSFET and divide this bridge into 2 bridges, right? And if you do that one, then what happens is that this is one bridge producing this, and this is another bridge producing this one. Now, what we can do is that we can connect the inductor, and this is a DC blocking capacitor. This is a very small thing. So we connect one inductor here and one inductor here between the two legs of the bridges. And the way we have seen earlier that we can do the phase shifting between the gating signals of the two bridges. And what it does, if you do the phase shifting between the two converters, it gives you the circulating current, and the circulating current basically helps us in achieving the zero voltage switching. So the same principle. As a matter of fact, basically the first concept was developed here, and then we use the same concept on the inverter. Basically, the first concept we developed here. So in this one now, what happened is that by controlling the phase shift of these two inverters, we can control the amount of the circulating current. And if let's say we need high circulating current under some condition, we have high phase shift. If we need less circulating current, we have less phase shift. So what happened now, we do not have constant loss in the circuit. So like in the earlier case, we were achieving the zero voltage switching, but we had the constant loss. But in this case, again, we are achieving the zero voltage switching, but we do not have the constant current loss. And the two inductors which were used on the two legs are basically replaced here. So that's why they're exactly the they are the inductor here. This inductor which we're using here now basically is used here. Okay. So this is a very good circuit, a very good concept basically to achieve the zero voltage switching without excessive circulating currents. And this is basically the concept. That's how the whole thing looks like. And this is the auxiliary current. And this basically depends on the communication we are having between the two. And now, in this one, by having this arrangement, now we have the zero voltage switching here, and we have minimized the circulating current there for the conduction loss here. Here, what we do is we are paralleling number of switches, number of MOSFETs, because the output current is very high. So we have to parallel number of MOSFETs. And when we parallel number of MOSFETs, now one of the loss which is coming there in the drive circuit, because now we have to drive this MOSFET. So what happened is that so these losses are quite significant, and not only from the loss point of view, but it is also the driving of these MOSFETs are quite tricky, quite difficult. So here, what we are proposing is that we can use the same thing, and we take this circuit and we develop a resonant gate drive to turn on and turn off the switches. And when you have this resonant gate drive, so what happened here we have a sinusoidal voltage here. Similarly, we have a sinusoidal voltage here, right? And the sinusoidal voltage basically is used to self-drive the MOSFET switch. So what happens is that when you have the sinusoidal voltage and you have the capacitors, you have the 90-degree lag between the voltage and capacitor. Therefore, your active power consumption is theoretically zero. So we are able to reduce the amount of the gate circuit losses considerably. And that also allows us now to parallel the higher number of MOSFETs to achieve the higher efficiency. So other one is the AC/DC battery charger, right? And in the AC/DC battery charger, basically this is a two-stage solution here, and it's the power factor correction. You have full bridge transformer and the rectifier. And this is a two-stage circuit solution in which we are using the two boost converter, okay, and these two boost converters basically are phase shifted to handle the power rating of this circuit. And then this is a very similar circuit topology what we see previously. And here, depending on the voltage, you may have to use synchronous rectifier, or you may not have to use the synchronous rectifier. So now let us look at the single stage PFC circuit, because here also we are using the two-stage solution. So the single stage power factor correction circuits have been around for last 15 to 20 years, right? But based on my own experience, the single phase power PFC circuits are practical only up to about 200 watts. So if you go more than 200 watts, you don't have the optimization. You don't have the cost optimization. You don't have the performance optimization. So it is, let's say, if you go higher than 200 watts, then it is better to use a two-stage solution than a single-stage solution. So that is a conclusion which we had drawn almost over 10 years ago, right? And at that point, basically, anything you want to do more than 200 watts, we go to the two-stage solution. But here, let us look at some other possibility. So this is one of the circuit here, which is a three-level single-stage circuit. And in this one, what is happening is that we are using the APWM, which is the asymmetrical pulse width modulation control. That is, if your switch S1 is on, S2 is off, and if your switch S2 is on, S1 is off. So this is a complementary signals. You have D and 1 minus D. So that is the asymmetrical PWM control. So we are using the asymmetrical PWM control within the inverter here. And then we are doing the frequency control. So now we got the 2 degrees of freedom. One is the frequency control and other one is the pulse width control. So we are using one variable to control the voltage at the output, and other variable to control the power factor at the input. So this particular circuit has allowed us to has allowed